Lauren Kuhn-Nuth, and I'm an endodontist in the state of Minnesota. I personally use BioRoot Flow, and I gravitate toward bioceramic sealers, specifically BioRoot Flow, because it has a high pH, so we know that this is antimicrobial, which is really helpful. You're never able to get rid of all of the bacteria in the canal system, so if you're able to leave the patient with an obturation that is also antimicrobial, that's a huge benefit. In addition to that, it slightly expands upon setting because it is hydrophilic. Again, we know we can never get the canals fully dry, so the fact that it's hydrophilic and slightly expands upon setting and into those dentinal tubules, you're able to get sealer tags, sort of a micromechanical retention, into the canals and block bacteria from being able to occupy those spaces. In addition to that, if I were to have a sealer puff, I know that the material itself is biocompatible, and I find that the thickness of BioRoot Flow is really excellent, at least for the way that I obturate, which is a modified single cone obturation technique, otherwise called hydraulic condensation. And I find that the BioRoot Flow sealer tends to support my gutta percha better going down, instead of seeming like it's swimming in water with a thinner base sealer. In terms of BioRoot Flow's handling properties, specifically its viscosity or thickness, you'll find that it tends to be more viscous or a bit thicker than some other syringeable bioceramic sealers that are on the market. This is actually advantageous, and I found it to be very helpful in practice. First of all, it goes where I put it and it doesn't just make a mess everywhere because, again, it's thicker. But in addition to that, I have fewer voids. And there is a study from 2020 that supports that thicker or more viscous sealers tend to have fewer voids in obturation. The way I like to think about this is, imagine you're pouring water, or you're doing really anything with water. You're going to find that little air bubbles tend to accumulate throughout it, little voids. Whereas if you were just pouring honey, you would notice that usually those honey particles stick together. You're going to have very few voids. So something that's thicker can be better in a situation like this.